Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Higher or Lower, brought to you by oddschecker, SpreadX and Sporting Index. This is the show where we look ahead to the weekend's football and say if we think the eventual results will be higher or lower than the midpoint of the spread betting markets. I'm your host, George Ellick. I'm very tired. I went to Oxford 1, QPR 3 last night. It wasn't great as an Oxford fan, and I got home late, and now I'm tired. So that is my excuse. This is Jack Wright.
Hello.
You tired?
No, actually, I didn't go to Oxford 1, QPR 3 last night.
But you were here. You sent me and Dan a message at 7:30 this morning, to clarify, It's now 10:21, saying swivelly chairs are back.
Yeah.
So what are you doing here that early?
I got the 5:59 train in.
That's what time I went to bed.
I went to bed at 12:30 a.m. So, yeah.
Why are you tired then?
Tired's for wimps, isn't it?
That's a blow. Dan?
I think I was asleep by 8:30 last night.
Ah, lovely. I wish I was.
Yeah.
Because I would have missed the events.
But having the band back together must reinvigorate you.
It's a treat.
It's been a while. I was wondering if we're allowed to see you in the same room, you two.
I do feel invigorated.
Good.
So that is invigorated and tired in equal measure,
Okay.
if that's a thing. Like after you go to the gym.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, me too. Right, small talk is over.
Yes.
Are you all right there? Are you okay?
I'm great, yeah, I'm really excited.
You've had a good week, haven't you?
I've had a great week. I've been to a few football matches, been to a bit of racing.
No Reading games?
Yeah, one Reading game. Saw the 1-0 win over Wickham on Saturday.
Nice.
Excellent. We're flying.
Yeah.
It's a very exciting time
Well,
on the pitch.
exciting. Yeah, but also possibly off too. Let's hope that a deal goes through soon. Fingers crossed.
crossed.
Fingers crossed. Right. Man City hosting Palace is the first game we're going to preview. Friday's Championship fare has been cruelly ignored.
No Friday night football?
No Friday night football.
What? Who's playing?
There is Friday night football.
Oh, well, good. Who's playing?
Is it Norwich?
It is Norwich and Burnley, yeah.
Yeah. What a game that would have been to preview.
Yeah. Selling goals.
Instead, we've got,
Yeah.
Man City, Palace. Total goal minutes is the market we're looking at here. The total cumulative minutes the goals are scored within the game. 162 is the midpoint here, so 157 to sell. 167 to buy with SpreadX. Are we going higher or lower? 3, 2, 1. Do you know what? I've had a tough time recently. Last season, did very well on this show.
You did.
Yeah.
This season hasn't been so good. Obviously, nailed the lower for the Newcastle game,
Yeah,
which was
great.
good.
It's never
Great
in doubt.
shout.
Never in doubt.
To just sort of solidify a good week. No, it was bad. And I kind of, bit of soul searching. What's going wrong? What am I doing? And I just remembered, just get back to basics.
Yeah.
Sell TGMs. Well, it's just a classic. It's a seller's market, this. It's pitched in too high. People like to buy. There aren't as many goals as people think. City off a 0-0 draw where they looked completely toothless away from home at United side who aren't very good. And Palace, obviously they've got their own attacking threat, and under Glasgow they're a good side, but it's quite a high line, and there can be 3-4 goals in this and still finish under 162.
As there was in the reverse.
Just back to basics. Sell total goal minutes. That's my angle here.
Okay.
That's it. Could have been anything, and I'd have sold. Jack?
Yeah, I find it's quite a tough one to call, but I have gone higher because I just feel that City have got to go for it. They're 6th in the table. They need points. They the unthinkable to think they're going to miss out on Champions League football next season. So they've got to win, especially, of course, their home games. It makes obvious sense. Palace, defensive issues. Gahey's suspended. Richards was I think Glasner's quote was, if it was the last game of the season last week, he'd have played, but other than that, he was not going to make it, so they need to patch him up and send him out. We're waiting to hear on Naqual whether he's going to be, if his concussion protocol will come in and rule him out for this one. So defensively, they're a little bit short, to say the least. Therefore, attack the best form of defence, and they've certainly got threat in those areas. Ezer, I love Munoz on the right-hand side, who could cause lots of problems. Mateta's in decent form. Obviously, Nketiah is suspended, and I think that actually probably helps this bet in the fact that we might get longer time for Mateta to go about his work. So I just feel that there's goals generally when these two sides meet, and I think my feeling for this game, there's not really anything too stat-based, but my feeling for the game is that it actually will be quite open, and City will go at Palace, and Palace like that, so they can hit them in transition. So I think it kind of suits that style of the game. 2-2 in reverse. Games last season were 2-2 and 4-2, so generally do have goals in it, and there's threat on the pitch. So I'm going with more of a goals-heavy game than not.
Yeah, loads of goals. Just under 163, was it? Dan, what's your thinking?
Yeah, I'm with the goals. I'm back and I'm with the goals. There've been 4 or more goals when these two sides have met in 4 of the last 5 Premier League meetings. Since the 1st of Jan, City have scored more goals at home in the league than any other team.
Nice.
And obviously Palace have been in great form in that period of time as well, and only the top 2 have more points than Crystal Palace.
Especially away from home. They're better away, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. But without Gay, I think that is absolutely huge here. City, as you say, need to win. And if you look at some of the total goal minutes from the last 5 between these two, you've got a 2.86 in there and a 2.48 last season, which is obviously huge, and a 2.91 the season before that. There is also a 1.58 and a 78 in there, which is on your side. But yeah, I don't know. 1.62 just feels like the perfect line for me, because I think if it was 1.72, I'd be starting to panic a little bit. But 1.62, I'm going higher.
Fine.
1.62, you are going higher. Right, on then to the next game we are previewing in this episode of Higher or Lower, and that is Arsenal versus Brentford, an all-London clash. Arsenal fresh off what must be probably one of the most memorable Arsenal games ever.
It's up there, isn't it?
Let's talk about it, because you were there.
I was, yeah.
So, Jack, how was it? No.
It was great. It looked great on the telly.
What was it like?
Great. Yeah, it was actually really, really, really good.
Because there was a
Real
part of me
Madrid-
that was like, when it was 0-0 and Reading were beating Shrewsbury, I was like, it's quite funny. And then you saw quite a good 50 minutes of football.
Yeah, admittedly, I was on my phone looking at whoscored.com, seeing the Reading score come in. And in the first half, I was regretting it, but the second half was fantastic. The atmosphere was great. I thought Real Madrid were actually very disappointing, but Arsenal were awesome, and two incredible goals from Declan Rice. And I mean, the third one wasn't too bad either. But
Mate, obviously, this is my hot take on this. I'm a big skeptic about free kick goals. Generally, I think the execution of a free kick is just so much exponentially easier than like a volley or a moving ball or whatever. Like, even though the aesthetic is often sometimes good, I don't think the goal's anywhere near as hard. I do think both of Rice's free kicks rank probably amongst the best free kicks I've ever seen. So like, they are obviously very good, especially the second one, where like I just can't believe how well he's hit it and how accurate it is. But I'd say Marino's is harder. It's a harder skill, and in some senses, I would say a better goal. Like, the way he's running backwards and he wraps his foot around it and starts outside the post into the bottom corner is like unbelievable skill. So
this feels like the sort of clip we should have and put it to the people.
Yeah, but then they'll be like, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And that's exactly what I'm hoping for.
keep that part in. But no, like I said, they're two of the best free kicks I've ever seen.
Yeah, the second one is unreal.
Unbelievable.
Like, you can't hit that better.
Yeah.
It's like right in the corner. And against one of the best keepers in the world as well.
Yeah, like probably the keeper that you least expect to be able to do that to.
Absolutely.
Right, I don't know why we're talking about that though. This has nothing to do with it. Time of first goal, Arsenal Brentford.
I forgot we hadn't even voted. No, I forgot we hadn't even voted yet. I thought you were
Maybe we
justified.
should do a podcast about goals.
Oh, I mean, I love them. So. I mean,
Time of first goal is the market here with spread X. 33.5 is midpoint. So selling, you think it'll be 0-0 after 33 minutes, 34 minutes. Buying, you think there will be a goal of some sort. 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Dan Worth.
yeah, I mean,
Right now, the Declan Rice on free kicks, they're going to score every single one, aren't they?
wow, but only in the second
Corners,
half.
free kicks.
2 in the second half. Yeah. Well, that was the interesting thing, right? As I said to you earlier, the set piece coach that has had all the plaudits this season was telling Declan Rice to cross it both times.
Was
so,
he? Even the second time?
Even the second time, it was Saka that was actually said, like, nah, mate, just hit it.
Hit it as hard as you can.
As hard as you can and as direct as possible. But I just wonder how much that game has taken out of them, which is a large part of the reason why I've gone higher here. And I just think as a result of that, it might be quite tight at the start of this game. This line is slightly higher than we normally get. I mean, we're talking 1 or 2 minutes, but still slightly higher than what we normally get here. Arsenal's average time of first goal scored at home is the 29th minute, which is obviously below this. Brentford's average time of scoring away from home in the league is the 34th minute, which is slightly above this. So that sort of implies that this line is bang on the money. But I think, yeah, as I say, that the Madrid game for me is the main reason why I'm going higher. The last 7 Premier League Arsenal games, 6 have gone over this line, and in the last 5 Brentford games, 4 have gone over this. So yeah, 33.5 is very touch and go, and you guys are probably going to come and tear me down here, but I think it's going to edge slightly on the higher side.
Never. I want to build you up.
Oh, thanks, mate. That's very kind.
Jack, why do you think it's going to be 0-0 after 34 minutes?
Well, it's not.
What? why it's not.
Yeah, I just think Brentford might well like the chances here and go out and look to try and catch Arsenal with a little bit of a Champions League hangover. I think I kind of make those points that you said they're correct in the fact that I think Arsenal might well be a little bit sluggish for this. They're obviously going to rotate to a certain degree. They're already well stretched defensively. So much of my thinking is actually on the fact that I think Brentford might go and sneak an early goal.
That's why I agree.
You can take over then. Here's the baton.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I agree. I think Brentford are a side who their away form obviously against the top teams in the league isn't very good, but they have scored at Chelsea, at Newcastle, at City, at Villa, and at Fulham. So they've scored. The only team away from home they haven't scored against in the top 8 is Liverpool, which they lost 2-0, and they've lost all of those games. Yeah. So even in defeat, they generally score. Obviously, Arsenal having Saka back changes their attacking exploits massively and makes them a much better attacking side. I basically can't see Arsenal not scoring at some point in this game. I think Brentford have a massive chance of scoring, and therefore a goal to come in the first third of it seems the wise way to go for me.
Yeah, 13 in the reverse minute time of the first goal, 19 in this one last season.
Yeah.
So and Brentford's games, they're good, although they've not been great. Then they've been very good. They've kind of switched, haven't they? They've generally scored at least in those games. So and Wissam and Mbomo have got 2 excellent exponents of putting the ball in the back of the net.
The Saka point is interesting for me because
Thank you.
Obviously just come back from injury and then played midweek and got the reverse against Real Madrid to look forward to. Do you think he's going to start here?
Interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Because
that
my hunch
goes away to change my my answer.
I think he'll start and come off. Like, I think you've got to, you've got to get minutes in his legs. Like you can't.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Can't wrap him up.
He was awesome, by the way. Really good.
He's such
not a bad player, is he?
Got the better of
so
Bellingham
good.
like 9 times out of 10, I would say. Don't have
Is that the first time you'd
stats,
seen?
You could be a scout.
Is that the first time you'd seen Jude live?
For a club, yes. I've seen him for England a few times.
What was your thoughts? What was your thoughts?
Slightly disappointed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him 3 times in 2025, 2 for England and 1 for Real Madrid, and I've not seen anything that's making me think he's the best player in the world, which I may or may not have thought probably a year ago.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Right. The next game we're looking at here is Liverpool against West Ham on Sunday, lunchtime kickoff. Bookings is the market here.
Look at the smile on his face when you
What
say
are you
bookings.
laughing at?
Literally, he's grinning from ear to ear when you say bookings.
With SpreadX, this is total booking points. So 10 points for a yellow, 25 points for a red. Yeah, I mean, 36, the midpoint here. So you're looking at 4, low line. Low line. Andy Badley on the whistle.
He is.
Ooh, yeah.
40 points you're looking for here, which is either a red and 2 yellows, 2 reds, 4 yellows. That's what you're after. Higher or lower? 3, 2, 1.
What? What do you mean?
It's lower.
This is so low.
Yes,
It is a low line.
Have you met Andy?
Yeah, so it's 36, obviously, and his yellow card average is what? 3.6. So
Nice.
I wonder how they've come up with that midpoint. Refereed Liverpool 3 times this season and dished out 9 yellows, 3 per game, just for Liverpool, which obviously alone is not enough to win this market, but I think it is a good start. But he's refereed West Ham twice this season, hasn't he?
Is he?
And he has shown the Hammers a red card on both occasions.
Well, that is
unsustainable.
I can't believe you're using that as a reason to go over here.
What would you prefer me do? Ignore the fact that every time he's refereed West Ham this season,
Every time? Both times, not every.
In the
both.
league?
That's also the same thing.
No.
In the league or all competitions?
There's 1 in the league, I think, and 1 in the League Cup, was it?
Yeah, who are they playing in the League Cup?
Can't remember, mate. I've not got things down here to disprove my own point.
Was this a rival?
It's quite relevant to the game.
Is it?
Liverpool.
Tell me. Go on.
Liverpool.
There we go then.
Why he can't be like he's booked and he's 2 games, 2 red cards. It's going to happen again.
Don't like West Ham.
It's obviously now going to happen, isn't it? unless you're suggesting that he has like an agenda against West Ham.
I couldn't do that to a professional, could
But
I?
is that what you're suggesting? Otherwise, what's the relevance?
Mate, there's a correlation
he
here
doesn't
between
like-
games he's refereed
doesn't
and
like the
West
way-
Ham in it this
He
season.
doesn't like the way they tackle.
Clearly.
Oh my goodness.
Don't like the crest.
Doesn't like the crest.
Oh my goodness.
The colours, he's like a bull when he sees the carrot and blue, he's like straight for the red.
Unreal.
I look forward to this one unfolding.
If there's red here, I'm going to be so angry.
Should we have a side bet?
Nope. I'll probably have a bet and like 41 there's a red just so that when I get a message from you, I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I've won 40p. Jack?
I just think this could be a low-intensity game. I think Liverpool are kind of stumbling their way towards the title. A few distractions. They look a bit tired. Salah's obviously dried up completely. It's terrible. But no, I just think that side of things influences this game a little bit. And I think West Ham are going to look to sit deep, contain. I think West Ham really have got nothing to play for this season. For them, it's getting to the end of the season and getting Graham Potter the players that he needs to get into the system he wants. But breaking it down, Liverpool, 5 of their last 6 have gone lower than this line. West Ham, 3 of the last 5. Head-to-head, quite interesting. There was none in the reverse fixture, and that was the third time of the last 6 meetings between these two sides where there's actually been 0 cards given at all.
So that's a good stat.
The outlier one obviously was that League Cup tie where there was 5, I think, and a red card. Anyway, we'll move on from that. 4 of the last 5 meetings at Anfield have gone lower. And taking that game, the League Cup tie, out of the equation, do you know the last time when these two sides have met where this line has been higher?
No, but I'm assuming a little while ago.
It was 2015. 21 of the last 22 meetings between the two sides have gone underneath 35
Wow,
points.
we were.
That's very compelling.
I rest my case.
Yeah, fair enough. Should we move on?
Yeah, I've got nothing much to add really there. I mean, just that currently Andy Madley's having a tough time getting his cards out of his pocket. Gave 3 in Southampton Palace last time out, none in Fulham Tottenham, an all-London clash.
Yeah.
2 in Forest Arsenal prior to that.
Top of the table clash.
5 Everton Manchester United, so that's the only one that's gone over.
You were there
It's
for
only
that one as well.
I was there for that one, yeah.
None in City. Sorry, 1 in City Newcastle. Like, he's just
Another top of the table clash.
he just can't wait for his holiday.
No.
Yeah, fair enough. Me neither.
He actually started the season, if you look, he was pretty card happy at the start. It's as if someone's had a word with him, and he's definitely dried up as the season's gone on. So we'll look forward to that continuing this weekend at a sun-baked Anfield, celebrating the fact that the title is just on the horizon.
Cheers, Drew. Right. Next game on our list is Newcastle against Manchester United. And if you think my whole total goal minutes reasoning was stupid, you should have had... Did you watch last week's episode? Oh
Yes.
my God, he hasn't watched it. He hasn't watched it.
No, I have.
Okay.
And Jack was on United's side.
Purely because he gets him wrong the whole time, so he went the opposite of what he thought,
Yeah.
which
I did then follow up with some
rattles me.
But he got it right.
superb
So-
rationale.
Yeah, wait. Process or outcome? What's more important?
Oh, it depends how much profit's at stake, I think.
I followed it up with some superb rationale in the fact that both of those sides are a bit naff at this moment in time,
Yeah.
and it was going
Yeah,
to
well,
peter
well.
out into a
Yes.
goalless draw, I think I said.
Going to peat them out. Fair play. Yeah, Newcastle are the favourites here. 0.85 in the supremacy market, the Sporting Index. So a higher here is Newcastle win, a lower is United's or draw. 3, 2, 1. Thank goodness for that. So why are you going against your new tactic that got you profit last week? I
Well,
thought you were Team United.
Yeah,
Am I him in?
I called him once, right, that's it now.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
done. We're
Fair
done.
play.
I just think I've been so impressed with Newcastle, how they've performed since winning that Carabao Cup final. Massive achievement for the city. We all know about it, all the celebrations, blah, 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 blah. But they've got back down to business. Eddie Howe has really got them focused on the run-in and making sure that they're going to finish in the top 5 as it is now to get Champions League football. And yes, it was Leicester. Leicester, we know, in loads of turmoil, but I thought their performance against Leicester was superb. The fact that they went out early, got the game effectively won, but more impressively for me was the second half performance and the fact that they came out after half time. They could have easily gone, oh, this game's won. You know, commentary team were talking about, oh, make loads of substitutions, rest loads of players now, but they didn't. They went for it. And then they put the game to bed by going again in the second half, and they could have won by more, really, to be fair. Obviously, at home, they were strong force. The crowd are going to be even more buoyant than they usually are. They're going to enjoy the fact that the fallen giant Manchester United are going to be coming to town, and a great opportunity for their side to go and put one over on them, and I think they will do that. We've seen Manchester United is just so poor in those forward areas. You know, they've improved a little bit in the processes behind that, but they still just can't score goals, and they don't look threatening at all. And Newcastle are the opposite of that. They've got lots of threat. You know, the players that they brought in, Harvey Barnes has come in and performed well. Jacob Murphy on the right-hand side in the absolute form of his life and loving it, and well done to him for getting a place in that side. We know about Isak as well. They've got the backup of Callum Wilson. But that midfield trio for me, with so much energy, so much work rate, is the kind of polar opposite of what you're going to see in that Manchester United midfield as well. So I just feel that Newcastle will look to go out, crack on, get the job done here and win it early, because obviously they've got another game. The only side, them and Palace play midweek, so they'll want to get this one done, I think, and then move on to the next.
Yeah, I mean, I just really keen to still get against United, basically. Even though it was a better performance against City, but City, as I say, I felt like it was more them just looking unable to fashion creative opportunities rather than...
It looked like a gentleman's agreement, from the start. We're just going to, we'll take a draw and we'll just move on.
And I said, I think for Newcastle, the impetus is there massively for them to in terms of European qualification and everything else, and it just feels to me like they're a team in a really good spot right now, and especially at home. It's not a nice trip for United to have to make. And with the midpoint being just under 1, it's a pretty easy one where you're having to have a pretty strong view on United here to go under, to think that the fixed odds price of being odds on is wrong. Dan, how do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, much the same as you two, to be honest. And Newcastle have got the better of United quite frequently. Recently, they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings, which is the same amount of wins they had against Man United in the previous 41 games.
That says a lot, doesn't it?
They're getting the better of them. Recently, it will be their first league double over Man United since 1931.
It's almost a little bit as if Manchester United have been in some kind of decline.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the point you make was really interesting about the matchups, because, probably even last season you'd pair all the matchups together and you'd give a few United's way, I think, if not the majority. Whereas this season, I think Newcastle are stronger in, off the top of my head, every single position.
Every department.
There's not really anyone for United side that I'd say, he's probably better than his opponent here. So, again, going back to what George said, only needing Newcastle to win here just seems like it has to be the play for me.
I think Matic agrees with that as well. And the other key element that I did kind of leave a little bit open for you guys to go in for is we're recording this, as you've already mentioned, Thursday morning. Thursday evening, Manchester United have a massive game in Lyon in the Europa League. And then, of course, the reverse return fixture, second leg, next Thursday. So they're going to be a little bit leg wary for this one, with Newcastle having best part of a week to prepare for it. So it just falls wrong for them as well. I think everything points towards Newcastle winning this and winning it well. I think they were 2-0 up within 20 minutes in the reverse fixture, and I can see a similar outcome here.
Yeah, just the general chat around Man United as well has been so negative for a while, and for good reason. But this week, you've got Matic sailing on as the worst keeper to have played for Man United. You've got rumours that Højlund's already on the transfer market. That's not going to do him much good for his confidence, is it?
He's on the transfer market.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's up for sale. There's nothing about this Man United team that screams they're going to come to Newcastle, one of the best teams with a decent home record, and get a result. So
their season revolves around this Europa League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competition, and these 2 games now against Lyon are massive for them, massive for Amorim, and whether they finish 14 for 12 is irrelevant to the fact that they can actually go on and potentially win, incredibly, a European title.
Indeed. Right. The final game on the card this week is Bournemouth hosting Fulham. Total goals is the market here with Sporting Index. 2.9 is the midpoint. 2.8 to sell, 3 to buy. So Bournemouth hosting Fulham. Bournemouth obviously very out of form. Didn't think we'd be saying that a few weeks ago. Higher or lower? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, again, 2.9. Yeah.
Surprised.
You go first. You're surprised?
I was surprised at how low the line is.
Yeah.
3.1, what are you doing?
I'd still go higher.
Ooh,
I'd still go higher.
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I would. 3.1.
No, I wouldn't either.
But fortunately, don't have to worry about that right now.
No.
I mean, Bournemouth are conceding quite a lot recently, aren't they?
Yeah.
At least 2 in all of their last 5 Premier League matches. And this line has gone higher in every meeting between these two since Fulham came back to the Premier League. Fulham obviously buoyant from that huge result against the champions elect in Liverpool. And I mean, I've said it a million times this season, if it's under 3 in the Premier League, I'm probably going higher. So that's 3 and I win.
Jack?
Yeah, Bournemouth out of touch, but they've been creating chances, they've been scoring goals, but they've just been conceding more than they're scoring. That's kind of the way of the game, isn't it? But And as I said, the history between these two sides screams goals. They're also, because of how the placings are looking this season, 8th could well be a European spot. And both these sides are in the shake-up. Bournemouth will need a win here. Obviously, Fulham are just above them in the league table. So I think it's going to make for an open, attractive, must-win kind of fixture for both these sides. Everything's on the table there now for them. And the thing I like about it is both sides have got strikers in great form. Evan Nielsen's come back from his injury, played 6 games, scored in 5 of them, a total of 6 goals, got a brace last weekend as well. And what I've liked about Fulham is they've got those 2 strikers up top. Jimenez, their top scorer, with 10 goals. And whenever he has a little bit of a dry spell or has a struggling game, they bring Muniz in, and Muniz tends to score, and he scored in each of his last 3 games. So to have the ability to rotate your main striker, and that striker scores, then that puts them in a strong position. They've got great support behind them as well. I just think 2 attacking sides, the way that Fulham like to play, and I think they're better away from home. They've scored in all bar their first away game of the season. This season, I think it suits them. Bournemouth will come at them. Fulham can hit them on the counter-attack. And I think this is a perfect game, perfect dynamic on a Monday night as well.
Oh.
Dreams.
What dreams are made of.
It really is.
Yeah, no, it's just 2 sides that screams goal to me. Like as you say, it's one of those when you first see it on the card, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Why is that so low? Which is often a bit of a trap. Like normally, there's a reason for these things. But yeah, Bournemouth's recent games have all gone over 3 since the 1-0 defeat. Home to Wolves back in mid-February. So even though they're not picking up many points, the goal output is still obviously there. And again, Fulham under Marco Silva, a side where we generally see goals. The 3-2 last time out, obviously being one of those. So yeah, I'd be really surprised if we didn't get a pretty good run for an overs there. And it feels like it's one which could end up with multiple.
Several.
Yeah, exactly. Nap time. The former napkin. Yeah. Dan, what's your best bet of the
Me
weekend?
first. I'm going to Chelsea versus Ipswich.
Of course you are.
I'm buying bookings at 40.
Interesting.
Chelsea have the worst disciplinary record of any team in the league. They've had 9 more yellow cards than anyone else. Ipswich are in 3rd place with 74 yellows and 3 reds. Made up double in the reverse fixture, 80 points. That time out, Atwell's in charge. He averages 5.5 bookings per game, which, again, on its own, is enough to beat this line. I just think Chelsea really needs to win here to keep their Champions League dream alive, and obviously Ipswich are they're going down, right? But like they're going to want to go down with a fight, so it could be quite scrappy, could be quite tasty. A few yellow cards. Well,
Could be quite scrappy. Could be quite tasty.
Scrappy and tasty.
Indeed.
And
What's
40.
scrappy and tasty? Pork scratchings.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, not for you.
Not for me, no. People used to call, I don't know if they still did, they used to call the little crispy bits scraps.
Fish. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were scraps and tasty.
I'm really hungry, so let's not talk about food.
Okay.
Jack, what's your best bet?
Mine. Going into League One. What a division that is.
What a
Yeah.
division.
What a league.
What a league. Crawley versus Leyton Orient. I'm buying total goal minutes. The line midpoint is 140. And I just think this is a game, this time of the season, I like those sort of games where both sides have it all to play for, and a draw's not going to do it. Either of them any good. They're going to have to go for it. They're going to have to score goals. Crawley obviously really desperately trying to catch up with Bristol Rovers, who can't buy a point at the moment, so they have got hope on that respect. Looked like things were great. Scott Lindsay had come back, won their first couple of games, then took the lead against Peterborough, completely capitulated then, lost 4-3, and then also then got a battering as well last time out against Stevenage 3-1. And late goals are the theme of those, and I think pretty much for the fact that they've got to push. They've got to push for the win. If a point isn't enough, and same for Leyton Orient trying to get into those playoff places. So that's the simple reason behind it. Charlie Kelman obviously in sensational form for Leyton Orient at this moment in time. Yeah, a couple of goals in midweek in a 4-3 victory at Mansfield. So goals rife across the board here. I think he'll fancy his chances of getting on the score sheet as well again. Keeping the pressure on the top of the goal scoring charts. But I think there's goals in it, and I have a feeling because of the dynamic of the fixture and the meaning of it, late ones are on the menu. So 140 midpoint, I'll take it higher.
Yeah, I think if you buy total goal minutes in games, well, Crawley games managed by Scott Lindsay, because his MK onside were bizarrely poor from an attacking perspective.
I forgot we kicked ourselves, didn't we? Like that Peterborough game, we were like,
I know.
yeah,
It
we
was
both
obvious.
missed out on that one.
It was obvious. Easy to say after the event. I'm going to Burnley against Norwich on Friday night. No, you're not going to like it. And I'm
If you make me money, George, I'll love it.
I'm buying Jadon Anthony player goal minutes at 15. He's really good. Like, this is a Burnley side that don't score that many goals, but have been much, much better from an attacking perspective recently. They play Zian Fleming up front, who is by no means your normal goal scorer, your normal kind of out-and-out striker. He does score goals and he has a lot of shots, but he's someone who drops in a lot. He's not doesn't really lead the line the way that you'd expect a striker to. But crucially for me is Jadon Anthony is profiting from the arrival of probably the best player in the Championship in terms of talent in Marcus Edwards. Like, what he's doing at Championship level is, it's basically just 'cause he's mates with Scott Parker from their time together at Spurs. He's someone who has performed in the Champions League recently, who was being linked to big clubs in the Premier League recently, and seemingly he just wanted a bit of love and to get his career back on track to go and play for someone that he likes. And what that means is Edwards plays off the right, Anthony plays off the left. It's so good you're dropping your mic. There's an early mic drop.
Fuming.
And Anthony has scored 3 goals in the last 4 games, just basically popping up on the left-hand side at the back post because Edwards does his work down the right. He plays 90 minutes in basically every game. His shot count is high. Like, he didn't have a single shot against Derby last time out. That was a weird game. Did he back him without shots? But yeah, 3 against Coventry, 5 against Bristol City, 3 against Swansea, 2 against Albion, West Bromwich Albion. He's a consistent goal threat, arguably their biggest goal threat. And yeah, Norwich are a side that I don't particularly trust defensively, especially away from home. And I think that there's a fair chance Burnley could rack up a bit of a score, especially with Norwich. Season probably over.
Yeah.
Some upset around the manager. Well, if you win every game, you might force your way in.
Might get 8th.
Nah. I don't have time for that. Anyway, Jadon Anthony total player goal minutes at 15, I think is quite a big buy, possibly.
Super mega minutes at 20.
22, mate. I don't know what you're looking at.
Well, we look at the midpoints on this show, don't we?
Ah, okay. In that case, 13.5.
Yes.
Okay. You're a little about to punch me.
Nope.
Good. Okay. There we have it. That brings this episode of Higher or Lower to a close. If you haven't already got a Spreadex account or a Sporting Index account, click in the link in the description of the show. There is a new customer offer there. You can learn all about it. T's and C's, of course, to apply. And do remember with spread betting, the losses can exceed your initial deposit. Oddschecker have you covered on fixed odds. Obviously, the Masters this weekend. So it has already started, but still loads of markets up on Oddschecker and on Spreadex and Sporting Index over the course in play of the weekend too. Loads of football stuff up there, plenty of other sports. So do check that out. And Who Scored have you covered for all of your football stats research, but not golf.
Not golf, unfortunately. Not yet.
It's a shame. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. We'll be back again next week to preview the Easter weekend fixtures. But in the meantime, enjoy the football, enjoy the golf, enjoy everything else, enjoy the sunshine, and please ensure that you're gambling responsibly.